We were doing questions based on symmetric function of roots. So we will continue with that itself. So I was doing a question which I had not completed, like I have only done 2 questions. There are more questions, but that I will solve later on by using Newton's theorem. That will be easier. Now let me take another question very quickly, and then I'll teach you something called as Newton's theorem. Okay, so let me take question number 3. So here is the question, that if alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n are the roots of this equation, then find the values of 1 by alpha, summation 1 by alpha 1. What is the meaning of summation 1 by alpha 1? It means 1 by alpha 1 plus 1 by alpha 2 plus 1 by alpha n, and similarly these two are defined. Now, how to start? The first thing to start is to write the relation between roots and coefficients. So what can I write? Since they are the roots, what can I write? The summation of all the roots. So summation alpha 1. It will be minus p1. You know the rule? So the first relation that I'll get is summation alpha 1 plus alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha n is minus of this coefficient, right? Now similarly, if I take 2 at a time, I'll get p2 minus plus and so on, right? If I take 3 at a time, I'll get minus p3 and so on. So I will now take n minus 1 at a time. So alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. What will I get here? Who can tell me n minus 1 if I am taking at a time? If I am taking n minus 1 at a time.
Pn minus.
So minus the plus. That will be depending on this n minus 1, because for 3 there is minus, so minus 1 to the power 3, that means minus 1 to the power n minus 1 and then pn minus 1. And the product of all the n roots and the product of all the roots n roots will be minus 1 to the power n pn. So this is my n relation between roots and coefficient. There are n in number, right? Now let's solve one by one. So for number 1, what I have to do? For number 1, I have to find summation alpha 1, which is nothing but 1 by alpha 1 plus 1 by alpha 2 plus 1 by alpha n. If I take the LCM, so this you try to understand properly. Here I'll get alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. In the numerator, what will I get? You see, here I will get product of all the terms from alpha 2 to alpha n except alpha 1. That means the first term will be alpha 2 into alpha 3 into alpha n plus alpha 1 into alpha 3 into alpha n and so on. That means what I am getting in the numerator, I am getting summation alpha 1, alpha 2 alpha n minus 1. At a time I am getting product of n minus 1 roots, right? Every term here I am getting product of n minus 1 root. So here I am getting alpha 2 to alpha n, I am getting alpha 1 to alpha n leaving alpha 2, and for the last one I am getting alpha 1 to alpha n minus 1 and not alpha n. So which can simply be written like this: I am getting n minus 1 product at a time and summing them together. Do you have a confusion here? Now you see here, I already know the value of the thing present in the numerator. Okay, the value of the thing present in the numerator, it is, you see here, I know this is minus 1 to the power n minus 1 p n minus 1, and what is the denominator? That also I know, minus 1 to the power n p n. So what eventually I will get with, my answer will be, so 1 minus 1 will be remaining, 1 minus 1 will be remaining, so minus p to the power n minus 1 by p to the power n. So this is my answer. So what is question number 2? I have to find summation alpha 1 by alpha 2. So let's find summation alpha 1 by alpha 2. So number 2, what is this? This is summation alpha 1 by alpha 2. This is nothing but, so you must understand what I mean by this. Which terms will it contain? It will contain alpha 1 by alpha 2 plus alpha 1 by alpha 3 plus alpha 3 by alpha 4 dot 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 alpha 1 by alpha n. That will be there, plus then it comes with alpha 2 by alpha 1 plus alpha 2 by alpha 3 and so on. That means it will contain all such pairs which are distinct. It will never contain alpha 1 by alpha 1. They are distinct. Okay. So let's see what I can do it. Let me write like this. This is alpha 1, alpha 2 dot dot alpha n and 1 by alpha 1 plus 1 by alpha 2 1 by alpha n. Okay. Now you see which terms are extra here. Which terms are extra here? These two are not same. If I multiply alpha 1 with the first term, if I multiply alpha 1 with the first term, I'll get 1, which was not needed. Try to understand my point. But all other terms are needed. You see, alpha 1 by alpha 2, alpha 1 by alpha 3 and so on, alpha 1 by alpha n. Only the first term was not needed. This was not needed. Alpha 1 with 1 by alpha 1, which was giving me 1. So this is an extra term. 1 is an extra term. I have to subtract 1. Similarly, let's subtract 1. Similarly, alpha 2 by alpha 1 is needed, but alpha 2 by alpha 2 is not needed. So that is also giving me 1. So 1 was also not needed. I will subtract 1. How many times? I'll subtract 1 n times. So which can be written as summation alpha 1, summation 1 by alpha 1 minus n. Understood this line or no? So now you see, I know the value of summation alpha 1. What was summation alpha 1? Summation alpha 1 is minus p1, and from question number 1, I have also determined the value of 1 by alpha 1. So I have both the values, minus p and this value. Okay, I'll just put the values. So this is nothing but minus p, this p1 I mean, this is nothing but minus pn minus 1 by pn and minus n. So what is my answer? This is my answer. P1 pn minus 1 by pn minus n. This is my answer. Okay. So let's go to number 3. What is number 3? Summation alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square by alpha 1 alpha 2. So this is your number 3. You just split this up. So this by this, I'll remain with alpha 1 by alpha 2 plus this with this, I'll remain with alpha 2 by alpha 1. And now it becomes similar to question number 2. It becomes similar to question number 2. See, this is same as this. Why? I'll tell you. Because alpha 1 by alpha 2 plus alpha 2 by alpha 1, this will also be here. This will also be here. You see why? Because the first term will be alpha 2 by alpha 2, alpha 1 by alpha 2, and there will be also a term alpha 2 by alpha 1. You see, they have written the same thing here. Whatever terms will come here, those terms will also come here. We'll not write that twice. We are doing the symmetric function of roots. If I write it twice, that may not be the symmetric function then. So this is same as the previous one, because all the terms which occur here, all the terms that occur here, okay, is already there present, is already present in the first term. So this can simply be written as the same logic, summation alpha 1, summation 1 by alpha 1 minus n, which is nothing but p1 pn minus 1 by pn minus n. Okay, this is same as number 2, no difference at all. There are many sums yet to be done. Okay, see, there is no limit to the sums. You can even solve sums by yourself from the exercise from any other book. Okay, but it's not possible for me to do every sum. Still, I will do more sums, but firstly I will state Newton's theorem. So Newton's theorem will help us for finding some of the relations in a very quick manner. Without thinking much, we can easily find it out. So let me state what I mean by Newton's theorem. Okay, so let me state Newton's theorem. So this will be very much important for us. So what is Newton's theorem? Let alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n be the roots of the equation, be the roots of this equation, x to the power n plus p1, right? p1 x to the power n minus 1 plus p2 x to the power n minus 2 the second last term is pn minus 1x, the last term is pn. The coefficients are 1, the leading coefficient is 1, and then 1, p1, p2, pn. Let alpha 1 to alpha n be the roots of this equation, full stop. Okay. Let SR denote this. What is SR? The rth power of this root, sum of the rth power of this root. That means alpha 1 to the power r plus alpha 2 to the power r plus alpha n to the power r. Which can also be written as summation alpha 1 to the power r. Alpha 1 to the power r. So what is this SR? SR is the sum of the rth power of the roots. That means what will be S3? It will be alpha 1 cube plus alpha 2 cube plus alpha 3 cube and alpha n cube. What will be S5? It will be alpha 1 to the power 5 plus alpha 2 to the power 5 and so on alpha n to the power 5. Where r is greater or equals to 0. That means we will be interested only for more than 1. So r is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So where r is greater than 0 equals to 0, an integer. R is definitely an integer. So Newton's theorem will give us a way to determine this SR. This is exactly what Newton's theorem says. Now I'll give you a result that will give you how to find SR in an easy manner. Okay, so then Newton's gave us these two things. Number one, then I should write number one below. Number one, this will happen. What will happen? I tell you. SR plus P1 SR minus 1 plus P2 SR minus 2 up to the last one, up to PR minus 1 S1 plus RPR equals to 0. RPR equals to 0 if R is less than n and less or equals to n. No, less than n equals to and greater or equals to 1. Don't worry, just to write it down and explain what I mean by this. Okay, and number 2, it is like this. It is like this. SR plus P1 SR minus 1, same thing, the last term will be Pn S n minus, sorry, R minus n equals to 0 if R is greater or equals to n. R is greater or equals to n. We will not do the proof of Newton's theorem, okay, but we will use this theorem while doing the sums. So Newton's theorem has given us a relationship between SRs and the coefficients of this equation like this. Whenever this power is more than the degree of the equation, we will use this result, and whenever this power is less than the degree of this equation, we will use this result. What exactly these results are, I will tell you. So just copy this down very properly. I will explain while doing the sums. So try to understand my point. I'll just give you an example. Suppose I have a 4-degree equation, x to the power 4 plus p1 x to the power 3 plus p2 x to the power 2 plus p3x plus p4. I have a 4-degree equation like this, and alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4 are the roots. Then what will Newton's theorem say? Let me state. Here SR means, as already said, summation alpha 1 to the power r. That means alpha 1 to the power r plus alpha 2 to the power r and alpha n to the power r. Now, when r equals to 1, I'll just simply get S1 plus P1 equals to 0. Okay, I'll simply get S1 plus P1 equals to 0. So how will that help me? It will tell me, so this is using the Newton's theorem. Just to apply Newton's theorem by taking r equals to 1. Just let me show it to you. So if r equals to 1, put here r equals to 1. Okay. If I am putting r equals to 1 here, try to understand my point. I'll start with S1 and end where? I'll end at 1 into P1. I'll end at P1 in simple words. I'll start at S1, I'll end at P1. What will I get? S1 plus P1 S0. S0, right? S0 is nothing but alpha 1 to the power 0, alpha 2 to the power 0, which is nothing but, we'll consider that to be 1, or basically look at this one. S1 plus P1. This all will be not defined for r equals to 1. Okay, this all will not be defined for r equals to 1. Well, simply because this has no meaning, and S0 also will not define. We'll assume that that r is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So I will start here S1 and end here. That is 1 into P1. So what am I getting? Hold on. What am I getting here? S1 equals to minus P1. And by the way, what is S1? It is alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha 3 plus alpha 4, which I am supposed to get minus P1. Do you agree with me? S1 is supposed to be minus P1 if I use relation between roots and coefficients. Clear? Now you see here, let's see what is S2. So what is S2? S2 plus P1 S1 plus 2P2 equals to 0. This is how Newton's theorem will give you S2. What is S2? This is your S2, you may check. S2 plus P1 S1, you decrease the coefficients of S, increase the coefficients of P. That is the rule. I'll again explain, don't worry, after some time. So from here S2 can easily be determined. How? P1 and P2 are already given in the questions and you know S1. So from here S2 can easily be determined. Similarly, how to determine S3? S3, try to understand number one. S3 plus P1 S2. Okay, P1 S2. You increase P and like decrease these numbers for S. Okay, that means now I'll increase this P1 will become P2. Index for P, I'll increase the index for P, I'll decrease the index for S. This is the rule, by the way. Decrease the index of S, increase the index for P. And you see, I cannot decrease S1 further. I cannot decrease S1 further, right? So I'll get what? I should get here P3 and nothing but here what? We write here 3 because we cannot decrease this further. So this is R. So this is equal to 0. Understood? So this will now give me how to find S3 because S2 will be known from this equation. So S2 is known, P1 is known, S1 is known, P2 is known, P3 is known, 3 is known. So S3 can be determined. So I can find out alpha 1 to the power 3 plus alpha 2 to the power 3 plus alpha 3 to the power 3 plus alpha 4 to the power 3. Right? So in this successive manner, I can find S1, S2, S3, S4 and S1. Let's see what will be S4 then. So S4 plus P1 S3 plus P2 S2 plus P1 S1 plus, just a minute, yes, we'll have to end here. We will not go beyond this because for equals to n, you see how we have to end here. If R is equal to n, just a minute, okay? I made a mistake. So P1 S3, P2 S2, P3 S1, right? And then we'll go for simply P4 equals to 0. Okay, this will be the thing. P4 will be 0. Here no 4 will come because we will use the second case now. So whenever this R is less than the degree, that means when R is 1, 2, 3, I will have this 3 equation, this one. But for more than 4, we will end here only. There will be no 4 or something, no? Yeah, we'll just let's see S0 then. What will be S0 that I have a confusion? But anyways, we will see more while doing the sums. Similarly, what will be S5? S5 will be S5 plus P1 S4 plus P2 S3 plus P3 S2 plus P4 S1 will end here. We will end here because there are no more coefficients possible. So whenever R is strictly more than the degree, then we will end here because I have no other coefficients left. We will end here. I have just a slight confusion regarding this one. I'm just confirming. Just a minute. Do you have any doubts? It's all right. Here should be 4. Okay, here should be 4. This is all right. And remember that they have written wrong in the statement itself. It's not my fault. They have written wrong, but this should be equals to n. This is true for n also. Okay, and this is only true for more than n. More than n. Okay, so this is Newton's theorem. For R equals to the degree of the equation, this is true, and for more than n, this is true. So using Newton's theorem, successively we can find S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6 and so on. So let me take a question. What is the question? If alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4 are the roots of this equation, x to the power 4 plus p2x square plus p3x plus p4 equals to 0, find number 1 summation alpha cube, number 2 summation alpha to the power 4, number 3 summation alpha to the power 6. They have asked you to find these three quantities. Okay, find alpha cube, alpha to the power 4, alpha to the power 6. So let's start. Keep in mind that here P1 is 0. Keep in mind that here P1 is 0. Okay, so solution. So if you compare this original equation with the standard form, what is the standard form? This was the standard form, you may write it down. So here P1 equals to 0. Okay. You may start finding S1, S2 and so on. So by the Newton's theorem, S1 plus P1 equals to 0. So that will imply S1 is 0 again. Because P1 is 0, so S1 will also become 0. I need S2 now. What will be S2 now? Yes. What will be S2 now? So S2 plus P1 S1, right? And then 2P2 equals to 0. You cannot go never write S0. Whenever you have S0, always write 2. Okay? So it will go up to here. So what will be S2 from here? S2 will be, this is 0 because S1 is 0 or P1 is 0. This is 0. So minus 2P2. This is my S2. Minus 2. P2 is my S2. Now I have to actually find S3. So now and S3 plus P1 S2 plus P2 S, it will decrease, right? And I cannot go S0, so now next I'll write P3, but here I'll write 3 equals to 0. Right? So what will be this? I have to find S3 from this equation. P1 is 0, so this will make this term 0. The second term is 0. S1 is 0, that will make this term 0. I'll simply remain with plus 3P3 equals to 0. So what is the value of S3? What is the value of S3? My S3 is minus 3P3. And I had to find S3, right? So therefore, number 1. What is the answer to number 1? Summation alpha cube, which is nothing but S3, which is nothing but minus 3P3 is your answer. Did you understand? If you have any confusion, please ask. So next I have to find S4, right? So what I have S4 plus P1 S3 plus P2 S2 plus P3 S1. I cannot go beyond S1 now, so last term will be 4P4 equals to 0. Just put the values of everything and tell me what value are you getting for S4. This is your task. Please do it and tell me what is the value of S4 you are getting. Just you see, this term is 0, this term is 0. This and this are both 0 because here P1 is 0, here S1 is 0. So this and this is 0. You can clearly see what answer I will get. Minus 4P4 minus P2 S2. Just you put the value of S2, as simple as that. So what I will get? Minus 4P4 minus P2. What was S2? What was S2? S2 was minus P2P2. S2 was minus 2P2. So what is my final answer that I am getting? It's 2P2 square minus 4P4. I hope this is the answer that we are getting. Yes, we are doing the same thing. So this is number 2, which is summation alpha to the power 4, which is same as adding S4, which is 2 if I take common. So P2 square minus 2P4. You see, now they have asked you to find S6 directly without finding S5. So what you can do, you can first find S5 and go for S6. But I will not waste my time by finding S5 for this question. Why, you will understand. Now, the last one, just write S6. S6 will be what? S6 plus, so here this is more than, this R is more than the degree of the equation. So S6 plus P1 S5 plus P2 S4 plus P3 S3 plus P4 S2. We'll stop here because there are no more coefficients left. Whenever I'll have R to be more than the degree of the equation, I will not have more coefficients left, so I'll stop here. Now, why did not I find S5? Because S5 will make a product with P1, but P1 is 0, that will make this whole term 0. So that is the reason I did not find S5. So what is this? S6, this will become 0, no need to write. This I have, so this will become P2 times S4. What is the value of S4? You can either write this or write this. I'll write this one. P3 S3. So what is P3 and what is S3? S3 we have determined somewhere. We'll write it down. So S3 is nothing but minus 3P3 minus 3P3 plus P4 S2. P4 I know, S2 I know. What is S2? S2 I have put the value minus 2P2 equals to 0. Using this, please solve the value of S6. You simplify this, you should get S6 something like this. 6 P4 P2 plus 3 P3 square minus 2 P2 square P2 cube. You should get this as your answer. So therefore, my summation alpha to the power 6 is nothing but, please check whether you are getting this or not and confirm it to me, plus 3 P3 square minus 2 P2 cube. Let me write the question. So what is the question? If Sm denotes the sum of the mth powers of the roots of this equation, prove that S4 is this 2q square minus 4r and S6 is what? 6qr minus 2q cube. So here if you see P1 is 0, you just compare with the standard form, okay? P1 is 0, P2 is q, P3 is 0, P4 is r. And then you apply Newton's theorem. Understood? Can you do this question for me? Okay, there are similar type of questions given more in the exercise. Like I'm doing it for degree 4. In the exercise, they have also done it for degree 3. So that will again be very simple. You can try it by yourself. I will show more application of Newton's theorem in the next class, but now for the time being, I have one question here with me. Let me solve that. And that is very easy. Okay. So this is the question they have given in the exercise, that if I have 3 numbers, alpha, beta, gamma, just 3 numbers, real numbers, suppose, real or complex numbers, suppose, and their sum is 1, sum of their squares is 3, sum of their cubes is 7, prove that the sum of their fourth power is going to be 11. So as you can see, this is again relating something to Newton's theorem. Suppose if I have a cubic equation, okay, suppose I have a cubic equation whose roots are alpha, beta, gamma. With the help of that, I can solve this. You see how I'll solve this. Here I'll show you the solution. Let alpha, beta, gamma be the roots of this equation. X cube plus p1 x square plus P2x plus P3 equals to 0. See, this P1, P2, P3 is not known to us. If I can find P1, P2, P3, I can actually find this. You see, let Sm denote alpha to the power m plus beta to the power m plus gamma to the power m. Or you can write equals to, let Sm equals to this wherever m is greater or equals to 1. Okay. So what is given to us? What is given to us? S1 is given to us, right? S2 is given to us, and S3 is given to us. We have to find S4. I have to prove that S4 is nothing but 11, as simple as that. Now the question has been reduced like this. So I have to prove that S4 is nothing but 11. Now we will do, this time S1, S2, S3 are known. With the help of that, I will try to know P1, P2 and P3. So again, let's recall Newton's theorem. So by the Newton's theorem, what I can say, S1 plus P1 equals to 0, and that will give me the value of P1 to be minus S1, which is minus 1. I have known the coefficient of x square. Now again I have what? Again, if I use the Newton's theorem, S2 plus P1 S1, right? P1 S1. I cannot go beyond this. So 2 P2 equals to 0. Let's solve for P2 from here. S2 is what? It's 3. P1 is minus 1. So plus P1 is minus 1. S1 is 1. 2 P2 equals to 0. What is P2 then? 3 minus 1 is 2. So that will be minus 2 by 2 is minus 1. P2 is minus 1. Right, so I have known the second coefficient also. Let's quickly find P3 then. So what I have S3 plus P1 S2 plus P2 S1 plus P3 S0 instead of S0 I will take 3 now. This is equals to 0. So let's solve for S3 from here. What is S3 then? S3 is given to be 7, right? P1 S2. Just solve it. You have to just solve it. P1 is nothing but minus 1. S2 is nothing but 3. Be very careful with the calculation. P2 is nothing but minus 1. S1 is nothing but 1 plus 3 P3 equals to 0. What am I getting? 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So P3 is again coming as minus 1. So I have the value for P1. I got the value for P2. I got the value for P3. Now we have this, all are known. I have to now find S4. It's very simple to find S4 using the Newton's theorem now. So if I apply the Newton's theorem now, what will be S4? S4 plus P1 S3 plus P2 S2 plus P3 S1. We'll stop here because there are no coefficients left. From here you find S4. Just put down the values of P1, P2, P3, S3, S2, S1 and tell me whether you are getting 11 or not. You will tell me now whether you are getting 11 or not. And therefore, alpha to the power 4 plus beta to the power 4 plus gamma to the power 4 is going to be 11. Just check whether are you getting S4 to be 11 or not. Yes, then very good. That's all for today. Thank you.